Today we're going to make these fun XO pillows for Valentine's Day. I'm Rose and welcome to my channel. To make the pillows, I'm using Baby Bee Snugs and Kisses Soft Snowflake. You will also need a crochet hook. I'm using a 7mm. This calls for 9mm, but since I want it to be a little tighter and not have as many holes, I'm making it with a 7mm hook. And then a pair of scissors, a needle, and Poly-Fil. We are going to start with the X pillow, and we are going to make a magic circle and chain 1. And then we are going to make 12 half double crochets into the center. And then I'm going to pull it tight, and we are going to slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to half double crochet into the first stitch. Now we're going to make a corner stitch, and we're going to place 2 half double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 more half double crochets, all into the same stitch. And then pull back the last half double crochet so we can find the next stitch, and we're going to place 2 half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then a corner stitch, which is 2 half double crochets in the same stitch, chain 1. I'm only going to chain 1 because I don't want as many holes or loops in this, spaces, and then 2 more half double crochets into the same stitch. Then we're going to place 2 half double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then a corner stitch again. And then 2 more half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then a corner stitch. And then we're going to go into the top of the chain 2 and place a slip stitch. And this is the beginning of our X. For round 3, we're going to chain 2. We're going to go into this first stitch with a half double crochet, and we'll go into the next 2 stitches with half double crochets also. and then the corner. We're going to work into this big space, and we're going to do 2 half double crochets, chain 1, and another half double crochet, or 2 more half double crochets. And then we're going, it should be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. So make sure you pick up all the stitches. And we're going to half double crochet in each of the stitches. 5, and then the corner, and then 5 half double crochets, and then the corner, and then 5 half double crochets, and then the corner again, so that gave us here before the corner 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, and we're going to go into this last stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. So you want to make sure that there's 5 on each side. Round 4, I'm going to chain 2, and then we are going to half double crochet into the first, I believe it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to add our corner, and then we are going to continue all the way around for round 4 in the same, there should be, I think, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on each side. So make sure there's 7 on this side. When you're done, there should only be probably 1 more that you have to do on this side, because we did 5, and this counts as 1, 6. So I will meet you at the end of round 4. I apologize, I counted wrong. There is going to actually be 8 at the end, which makes more sense because it's usually they go up by 3. So you will, at the end here, will have 2 more at the end. So you should have a total of 8 on each side when you come to the end of round 4. And here we are at the end of round 4, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. And then this is as big as I'm going to make it for this video. Now you are more than welcome to make your pillow bigger, but I'm going to end at 4, and we are going to make 2 of these squares. So here I'm going to cut my yarn, and then I will meet you when I get my second granny square done. Alright, I finished making the second one. Let me bring up my camera a little. And then I'm going to place them together with the extra, or with the ends at the top. And then I'm going to place the nice side on the outside of both. And then we are going to start in this right corner, but I'm going to go into the stitch, not the corner. So I'm just going to place my hook through both. And then I'm going to pull my yarn through. And just to bring them together, I'm going to make a slip stitch. And now we'll start into this top with a half double crochet. And we're going to go and do half double crochets into each of the stitches all the way across. Only on this one side, not both, just the one. And we can just place the tail on the inside and then just work our way all the way down. You don't even have to tuck it, just keep it on the inside. And then we're going to go into this. When you come to this last corner stitch, you're going to go into the top granny square and into the same stitch on the other granny square. And then you're going to do a single crochet. And then you're going to flip it over, and we're going to go back into the same corner stitch, and we're going to do a half double crochet. And now we will continue with half double crochets all the way to the end of the second granny square. You just tuck that back. And then we'll go into this last stitch, and we should be back at the beginning, and this first stitch, and this is the top stitch. I'm going to go into both of them, and I'm going to make a half double crochet over the two of them, and then right back into that top. The first half double crochet, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. For the second round, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do half double crochets in each stitch all the way around, and we'll do this for the next 3. the next 3 rounds, which then will get us to 4. So I will meet you, and we're not doing single crochets. We're just going to place a half double crochet into each of these stitches all the way around. And I do end with slip stitches to start the next round. So this is round 2, and I will see you at the end of round 4. Alright, and here I am at the end of round 4, and I'm going to place a slip stitch into the top, and round 5 is going to be a decrease, and we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to place a half double crochet into the first stitch, and then we're going to do 2 together, and then 1, and then 2 together, and we're going to make the decrease round all the way down, or all the way around. Decrease, this is the last decrease. And then I will make a slip stitch into the top. Round 6, chain 2, and then we're going to half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. And to make sure that this doesn't gap, I just go right back into the same stitch. I don't always do that, but I don't want these huge gaps in the pillow, so I'm just going to go into that one also. And you could go into this last one also. It's not going to affect it at all. So it's kind of like 3 in there, but I don't want the gap. And then that is the first part of your X. So this is what it's going to start to look like, and then we will do 1 on each side. So it'll be 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And then for this, you just want to leave a tail. I'm not going to close this up yet because I want to add the Poly-Fil in it, but just leave enough so that we can sew around and close the end. This is the first time I'm using this yarn, and I really like it. And it seems to be pretty tough. It doesn't, like some of the other ones that are fleecy like this tend to break. This one you can pull pretty tight. I'm not pulling it too tight, but even here, when I pulled it here, I could get it pretty well without it breaking. So I haven't had any breakages with this yarn, and it was $7.49, which is cheaper than a lot of the other ones. They're like $10 to $12, like the Burnett blanket, or even the other one that I use, which is that I used for the chicken, the I think it's loops and threads, and then it's the snuggle, or that one. This is still cheaper. So if you have a Hobby Lobby by you, this is a really nice yarn to use, and it's cheaper than the other ones. So I looked it up real fast, and for the chicken, I remember now I used the loops and threads, and it was the Chanel Home Slim. And then they also have the loops and threads, and it's the Sweet Snuggle, but this is still cheaper than both of those, and the Burnett blanket. This is cheaper. So, and then for the next one, I just want to show you, I'm going to start it the same way. I'm going to go right into this corner, and then I'm going to place a single crochet, and that's just to keep it together. Or I'm just going, I guess not a single crochet, I'm just going to pull it together, and then start it the same exact way, and I'm going to do half double crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do that for all 4 sides, but the next 3. So just continue all the way around and do each side. Alright, this is the X all completed without the Poly-Fil. If there's any little spaces, I know I have one right here, that look like it's going to be a big gap, I will just take your end or extra yarn and just kind of fill it in so that there's no gap there. I'm just going to take it and I'll just pull this through like that, and there, it's done. And then we will tuck the end inside, so we won't even see them. You don't even have to tuck these ends. You can just shove them all inside the pillow and be done. So, alright, I'm going to get my Poly-Fil, and then we will fill this up. Alright, I got my Poly-Fil, and the reason I left all of these open is because it's much easier to fill the pillow with them all opened rather than closing them. So you could go through all the sides and get it right into the middle exactly where you want it, and then we'll just use the string at the end to loop it around and pull it tight. So I'm just getting enough Poly-Fil to kind of fill up all the sides, and then if you'd like to wait, or if you'd like to close this right now, I'm just going to go through each side and see how I like it, and then I will close the ends. And I got this Poly-Fil at Joann Fabrics. It actually was $4, so I think that was like a good deal. It's a 12-ounce bag of Poly-Fil, which sometimes it seems to be really expensive, so I think this was a good deal for $4 for this huge bag of Poly-Fil. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to add a little bit more to this side. Didn't take a whole lot, surprising. And then I will start on this side. And then I'm just going to go through each of the spaces all the way around. All the way around. And then I'm just going to knot the top and then push this right down into the middle, and then I'll cut it. But that is one of the sides, and I'm going to do all four, and I will meet you when I'm all done. Here is the X all finished. Sorry about the light, but it's a light in the house. I don't know, it's just coming off a little orangey, but it's such a nice size. And then we're going to go make the O. But here's the X. I wanted you to see it on my sofa. I'll stand up, and there is what it looks like. And then we will make the O. Start the O, we're going to make a slip knot and then chain 20. And then follow the chain back to make sure it's not twisted and make a slip stitch. Round 1, we are going to chain 2, and then we're going to place half double crochets into these back loops only. So we're going to place 1 into the first stitch and then 2 into the second stitch. So this is our first increase round, and so every other one we're going to place 1 and then 2 into the fourth. And just make sure you're working on the flat side, not into the third loop, and I will meet you at the end of round 1. You're just going to make a slip stitch into the top, and this is what you will start with. Round 2, we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to single crochet into the first 2 stitches, and then half double crochet into 2 half double crochets into the third stitch. So for our increase, it's going to be 2 to 2 ratio. 2 half double crochets in the next 2, and then 2 into the 6th one. And you will continue that all the way around for round 2. And then a slip stitch at the end of round 2. Round 3, we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to place 3 half double crochets into the first 3 stitches, and then 2 into the fourth, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 into the next one. And by 3 I mean like 1, 2, 3, like 1 in the next 3 stitches, and then 2 in the next stitch, just so you're not confused when I say 3. And then you'll continue the 3 to 2 ratio all the way around for round 3. And this is what it looks like when you come to the end of round 3. Round 4, we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to place 4 half double crochets in the next 4 stitches. Then you're going to place 2 into the 5th stitch, and then 1 in the next 4, and then 2 in the next stitch. And then I will meet you at the end of round 4. And this is what it looks like at the end of round 4. For round 5, we're going to chain 2, and then we are going to place 5 half double crochets into the first 5 stitches. 4, 5, and then 2 into the 6th stitch, and then 5 in the next 5, 1 in the next 5 stitches, and then 2 in the next. So we're going to continue the 5-to-2 ratio all the way around for round 5. Round 6, I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to half double crochet into the first 6 stitches, and then 2 into the 7th stitch. And I just started my second skein of yarn, so you will get the whole X and then to this point with 1 skein of yarn. So if you want to make them a little smaller, then you could maybe get both out of just 1 skein of yarn. I was hoping that I would get both of them out of just 1, but I made probably the X too big, but I like the size of it, so I don't have any regrets having to buy 2 skeins of yarn. I actually had to make a second trip back because I just bought 1, so then I just went back and got the second one. So then we are going to continue with round 6, and we're just going to place 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 into the next, and then I will see you at round 7. Round 7, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to place 1 half double crochet into the first 7 stitches, 7, and then 2 into the 8th, and then 1 into the next 7. So this turns out nice because the same round you're on is how many you're going to increase, because we didn't fill in this middle part. So we started with 1 increase, and then 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that works out really well for this, for the O, because usually it doesn't work out this nicely if you have the middle for the round to match the increase. So we're going to continue with a 7 to 2 increase for round 7, and I will see you at round 8. Alright, I'm at the end of round 7, and this is, it's pretty big. I don't know if I could fit it all on the camera in this without going really high. And I wanted it to be in comparison to the X, so I'm just going to place it on top, so that would be the center, and then it comes to about the same place as the X. So I am done with my increase rounds. So now for round 8, I'm just going to chain 2, bring you back down, sorry, and then I'm just going to place 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. So this is going to start to bring the side in. And then this is our last round for this side of the O. And then we're going to work on the other. We're going to make 2 of these. So this is round 8, and it's 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. And I will see you at the end of round 8. Right, here I am at the end of round 8. This yarn is so thick that these rounds work up pretty quickly. So, I mean, you shouldn't have a hard time making this in a good time. So, I mean, I'm not sure the time it took me to make this, because now we have to make another one, and but you should have this done within probably 30 minutes, 30, depending on your skill level. So about 30 minutes. And then for our second part of our circle, we are going to just go to round 7. So it's going to place right on top of here. This is the edge. Round 8. So we are going to do 1 through 7 for our second half of our. Finished the other half of my O, and I timed it. It took me about 25 minutes and 26 seconds, so about 25 minutes, give or take, to finish one of these sides. And then the first one would have been a little longer because you have to add the 8th row. So yeah, so about 30 minutes would be for one of these circles for the O. And then we're going to put them together. So I did not cut off my tail from the second O, and then we're going to match them up, and we're going to connect them. So I'm going to flip it so that the nice side is on the inside. So this is going to be my inside. So they're both going to face, the side that you don't want on the outside is going to be on the outside. And we're going to place the other side in. And then we're going to just stitch it all the way around. I'm going to use single crochet, so I'm just going to line up the other side exactly in the same spot where I ended. And I'm going to place my yarn through and make a single crochet. And then I'm just going to work my way around, getting both stitches from both sides and single crochet. Now you can do a slip stitch if you'd like to get your yarn needle and do it. I like single crochets. They seem to work the best for me, and it holds it together really well without coming apart. So I'm going to do it this way all the way around. And I will see you on the other side. Here I am at the end of stitching them together, and if for any reason one ended up longer than the other, just kind of work it together until it looks okay, because sometimes that happens. And this one might be a little longer than that one. I mean, nothing's perfect all the time, so these came together pretty well. But if I had this and I had a little bit of extra, I just kind of pinch it together and work it together up here, because you wouldn't be able to tell once you flip it. So, alright, here we are. I think I grabbed the other tail. So, and then I'm just going to cut. And close it off. I'm not going to tuck anything. I'm just going to leave them for the inside, because we're going to flip this over. Alright, and now we're just going to flip it over. I'm just going to pull it right up through the middle. So I'm going to try to do it on the camera as best that I can. You don't want to stretch it, the middle, but just work it so that it comes out, and then that is what it's going to look like before we fill it. And then you could just stick all your ends inside. Mine are already in. And then I'm going to just show you my bag. And if I showed it to you with the X, but this is the Poly-Fil. Bring it up a little. It's a 12-ounce bag. And then I paid, this was at Joann Fabrics. You know what? It might not have been. It might have been Hobby Lobby. Now that I think about it. One of them, I think Joann Fabrics was more expensive. I think this is Hobby Lobby, and I paid $3.57 for a 12-ounce bag. And then I'm just going to take it, and we're going to stuff the O all the way around until you get the desired look that you like. I'm just going to stitch the bottom two. If you left a long enough tail, you can use that. I didn't, so I'm just going to bring the two together, and I'm going to single crochet this too. You're welcome to do any stitch you like, or you can even get a needle and do it that way, but I'm just going to do it the same way that I did to the other side. I'm just going to get a stitch on both sides, and then I'm going to single crochet. So if you pinch them together and just push the Poly-Fil down as you go, and then oops, and just single crochet. I'm going to try to do this on camera as best I can. There you go. That's the middle all finished. And then I'm just going to knot this. Here's the XO all finished, and they turn out super cute, and I really like the size of them both. I hope you enjoyed making these with me today, and that you will take the time to make some. And until next time, eat, sleep, pray, and crochet. Thank you so much for watching.